You all can hear me? Y'all can hear me? Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Tamika Festival 12, Elevation Nation, Rising to Our Higher Selves. I am your founder and host for the evening until my co-host arrives. And we're going to start out with a selection from my brother, Trav Wright. Take it away, bro.
Peace, peace, peace. I was born by the river in a little tin shed. And knowing just like that river I've been running ever since. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change gonna come. Oh, yes, it will. It's been too hard living, but I'm afraid to die. See, oh, see, I don't know what's up there beyond the sky. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change gonna come. Oh, yes, it will. See, when I go to my brother, and I say, brother, help me please, please. But he winds up knocking me back down on my knees. And oh, there been times that I thought I couldn't last too long. See, now I know I'm able to carry on. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change gonna come. Oh, yes, it will.
Yes, Trav. Thank you. Thank you. You see, we all clapping. We all clapping. Tell the folk where they can contact you and get in touch with you at.
I'm Trav Wright. You can catch me on Facebook. My full name, Travis Wright. You can catch me on Instagram, Trav Wright Soul. And between those two, basically, I'm easy to find. Thank
Okay,
you.
cool. All right. Well, thank you. As y'all hear, we got a Tamika Fest dog that every time we start the film, this mutt want to start chopping at the bit. Like it be quiet all day. As soon as we start filming, this nigga go crazy. I don't know what that is. But you know, and y'all could have told me my lips shining in the mug. Like, damn, like it's crazy. The light didn't see it anyway. Today we're here to talk about the state of our hood. And the hood to me is hope overcoming obvious destruction. And how as black people, despite everything that is thrown our way, we find a way, we overcome, we conquer. It is just our nature. So today's state of the hood is a panel discussion, a town hall with some beautiful lights that I just happen to call my friend. I am so blessed. So we're gonna introduce everybody. I'm just gonna say your name and he gonna feature you. When I say your name, you just wave, and then we're gonna go on to the first subject. Uh, Food for thought from LA. He is not only an entrepreneur and an activist and a poet and a great husband and dad, and him and his wife, you know, my love, my love, my love. But they're an example of black love and beauty, and he really does a lot in the community. I thank him for being here. Talam AC. I believe Talam hails from Jersey. Am I right, Talam? Okay. I got to make sure that I see y'all right quick. Oh, he out the room. He went out the room, but he'll be back. He hails from Jersey. He is a spoken word icon, a legend. Many people imitate him, but no one can duplicate what he has done in the world of spoken word. Then we have Tommy Bottoms. Tommy Bottoms hails from Naptown, Indianapolis, Indiana, Ball State graduate. You know what I'm saying? And he's a political pundit alongside being a poet. He is the creator of Educated Gangster, a spoken word hip hop musical, and also 64 and Third, a documentary on the Apache Cafe and the culture that it created here in Atlanta. I thank him for being here with us. Max Parthis, he is the ultimate activist, poet. He got 30 kids, 16,000 grandchildren. He truly, if we all went away, his kids and family will populate the earth. But his number one passion is abolition. He is an abolitionist to the 10th degree, and that is what he works for tirelessly. And we are so honored to have him. Up next is my sister, Miss Dia. Dia is not only a radio personality, a poet, a fashion designer, a cool ass chick from Detroit. Martin Luther King High in the building. What up, she is a person who is been in the radio industry for decades now, and she's going to talk to us about media's impact in this whole realm of who we are as a people and how it affects us, and can we trust it. Derica Troop, also known as DJ Know That, DJ Know That, DJ Know That. She hails from Miami, the bottom, and she's going to talk to us, 305. She's going to talk to us about health and holistic living and the transition she made being from a whole, country people who eat nigga food into being a vegan, and what that journey is like and how we can transition and what herbs and things we need to take to build our immune system, especially at a time like now. We are all about solutions, the solutions to our problems. And then we have Keith Brown. GOODJOB. Good job. Good job. Will you say it again? GOODJOB. Good job.
Good job. Good job.
Yes, he is the founder of I'm Possible, and he is an amazing motivational speaker, activist, and he always been a wonderful brother in my life who comes around right on time. It's like I don't see him, and then right when I'm down, they go Keith Brown. You know what I'm saying? To lift me up. So I think we got another brother in the building. Oh, Cocktails, you in the building? Well, Cocktails is he just here. Hey, Cocktails, how you doing? Cocktails is CEO of E Period Entertainment, and he is a professor and a integral part of the spoken word scene here in Atlanta. He is my brother, and I thank him for joining us. So we're gonna talk about some things, y'all, and hopefully come with solutions for our people. Anything I want to talk about, we can, please. We are not limited. We don't know where this conversation will go. First up, we're gonna talk about the prison industrial complex. Now, we don't think about it all the time because everybody ain't got somebody down the road. Everybody don't know what it is to make visits or put money on somebody's books. That's not everybody dynamic. But for us to be only 10% of the population, we are overwhelmingly the majority of those who are in prison. And for America to be the so-called land of the free, we imprison more people than any other so-called civilized nation on the planet. So, Max, I want you to talk about your initiative and tell us what we need to do and how we can be involved to change our people's situation.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much for having me here today, Georgia. I love you and everybody on the panel. I know you all pretty much. And I'm glad that the first song we heard with Change is going to come, because that's what I want to talk about is change. But I want to talk about where it's going to come from. And that's going to be from your mind. You know, most of the people here are already familiar with my work. I'm a slavery abolitionist. I'm fighting to end what is virtually legalized slavery in the United States of America, which is allowed by the 13th Amendment and has been since 1865, and then practiced through convict policing all the way up into the 1960s, and then prison for profit where they warehouse bodies after that. Right now, we have the largest prison population in the history of humanity on planet Earth, and all of them are earning somebody $1 just by being in those cells. As Georgia mentioned, the Black population only makes up 13% of the total population in the United States, but we make up overwhelmingly the large majority of the prison population. To be specific, 96% or 94% of all prisoners are men, and uh, 38% of all prisoners are Black men. We're talking about 38% of a 2.4 million prison population that is coming from 4% of the population. Because that's all Black men make up is 4% of the population. If the total is 13%, they're making up half of that. And then some of those are children and babies. So you can't count them. That means 4% of the population. That's a genocide. That's modern slavery and human trafficking. And we could talk about things like, if they don't want to do the time, they shouldn't do the crime. But that's a fallacy put out by basically white supremacists who have criminalized us since 1865 through things like pig laws and black codes and drug laws and on and on and on. They make it a habit of criminalizing us so that they can turn us into literally black gold and put us into these cells. As I mentioned earlier, nowadays they warehouse bodies. There was a time when they would work you to death, particularly during the convict lease period. But now it's just a bunch of bodies stacked 150% occupancy, 200% occupancy, 300% occupancy in the middle of a pandemic. In Alabama right now, they have a 300% occupancy in some of those prisons. And in Ohio, they expect 99% of the people to have the pandemic virus because it's so packed. Just to incarcerate one of us, just say an adult in a place like New York, in Rikers Island, costs nearly $200,000 a year to incarcerate us for 1 year. Man, if you gave us some of that money before you ever put us in a jail cell, we would have never made it to the jail cell. Most of those crimes are crimes of poverty or drug addiction or just being black in a white America. You know how it goes. So in New York, if you're an adult, $200,000 to put you in the Rikers for 1 year. God forbid you're a kid like Khalif Browder. Khalif Browder went to New York's Rikers Island as a child, 16 years old, put into an adult prison. And in order to incarcerate him, they charged the taxpayer $353,000 a year to put him in 2 years of solitary confinement, a year of unjust incarceration. On top of that, on an accusation over a backpack, 3 years. It's a violation of the Sixth Amendment, a violation of the Eighth Amendment, but it's right in line with the 13th Amendment, which says that slavery is abolished except for prisoners duly convicted. So they show you right there in the amendment how it's done. And we've traced this all the way back, as I said, 1865 and earlier, all the way back to 1777, when Vermont was the first state to put an exception clause into their constitution. It's still in their constitution today. And it says that you can be enslaved for bills and the like, whatever the like means. In Georgia, where Georgia Me is sitting right now, their state constitution says that you can be enslaved for contempt of court. So if you throw your finger up to the judge while you're out there for that fine of $50, he can make you into a slave legally in Georgia because that's contempt of court. So let's call this a plea to the poets part two, because I've done it before. I'm asking for your help. You can listen and learn a lot about what we're dealing with and what we're doing at abolitiontoday.org. It's a weekly radio program that we do, and we break down the facts for everybody to easily understand in a short period of time. We also incorporate music and poetry and things like that, because what is a movement without music and poetry? But we've got to change our minds about what it is that we're dealing with. A lot of us use false terms like mass incarceration. Mass incarceration didn't even exist as a term until 2009. From 2007 until 2009 on Twitter, with the launch of Twitter, there was only 4 mentions of it. It became popularized in 2010 with the release of Michelle Alexander's book, The New Jim Crow, Age of Mass Incarceration. That's when it suddenly became a thing. Back in the day when our ancestors were being hunted by fugitive slave laws, they didn't call it mass incarceration then. And we shouldn't be calling it mass incarceration now. And I know it gets a little confusing to people because we're dealing with a system that not only prosecutes the guilty, but it also prosecutes the innocent. And it does it just the same. And it specializes in prosecuting people of color, Black people in particular. As I said, 96% of the 94% of the prison population are men. 38% of those are Black men, and they only come from 4% of the total population. So we've got to change our mind about what we're dealing with. Are we dealing with a mistake, an error in judgment, some wrong thinking over time? Or was this designed to do exactly what it's doing right now and create about $500 billion a year right in the US alone on the bodies of Black people, Black gold sitting up in a cell like a Khalif Browder worth $353,000 for a year when you didn't have $5 before they arrested you? That's how it works in the United States today. So we're trying to end that. We've already made some great strides towards that goal. There are 24 states who have an exception clause in their state constitutions in addition to the federal constitution. So far, Colorado has already abolished it in their constitution as of 2018, taking out the pro-slavery language from their constitution, making them the first state to do so in 377 years since the British colony of Massachusetts made slavery legal in 1641. Right behind Colorado, there are 8 other states that are attempting to do the same thing to finally make slavery illegal in the United States, even if they have to do it state by state. And, there's a lot to unpack here. I know, and I've only got a few minutes and I'm just about done with that. So I would highly suggest that you do 2 things. One, check us out at abolitiontoday.org. And also check out these 3 movies in this particular order. Since, we ain't got a lot to do these days, start with Slavery by Another Name. It tells you how slavery was transferred from the citizen owning people to the state owning people. It's called Slavery by Another Name. It's free on PBS. After you watch that, watch 13th. And that will explain how slavery operates today, the companies and corporations that are all behind it, that are putting you into cages for profit and hunting you for profit and control. So watch 13th. And when you're finished with that, watch Do Not Resist. Do Not Resist tells you where we're going into the future with this thing now. I mean, they really have developed technology that we know is specifically focused on us. During Do Not Resist, I saw a quote of one of the men who developed the programs which can predict whether or not you're going to be a murderer. And he said, right now, we can predict with 50% accuracy whether or not your unborn child is going to kill somebody. What we've got to think about is what we're going to do with that information. See, I don't trust these white supremacists having that type of information and wanting to make these kinds of decisions about us, because when they do, we end up in the midst of the genocide and slavery. So check us out at Abolition Today. Check out those films. And thank you so much, Tamika, for allowing me to be here. And God bless. And I appreciate all my brothers and sisters here today listening and participating.
Thank you, Max. I mean, you dropped a lot of gems, and that's the whole point of my festival, is to inform us. I want everyone to go get those points of reference that Max named, and you will watch this video over. That's the point of it being, on YouTube, so you can see it and go back and get the education you need to help us better our brothers and sisters situation. Max, you wanted to say something else?
Yes, there's just one more bit of information that I want you to think about. And this is the God honest truth that's going on right now. 95% of all prosecutors are white. 95% of them, 83% of them are white men. They spend the majority of their days doing nothing but prosecuting Black and brown bodies. That in itself is a crime against humanity, with the proof right there. 95% of all prosecutors are white. Thank you.
Thank you. And we need to be armed with the truth and need to understand like what I want to do. And I hope this goes out to the world. For everybody who, I want to be a lawyer. You just want to litigate. You don't want to legislate. You don't want to create law. You don't want to fight injustice. Like you just want to make $1. What is your purpose? And I want to charge every person who claims, whatever passion they have, to do it for their people. Find a way to do something for your people, regardless. I don't care what it is, but I definitely, we have a 95% plead out. 95% of people just—
That's right, a Sixth Amendment violation.
That is unbelievable, especially in our community. So does anybody have anything to say or ask of Max right now? We good? Well, you can definitely put your questions on in the comments, and Max will come on YouTube and answer those questions for you, won't you, Max?
I will do anything that Georgia Me asked me to do. Simple as
Thank
that.
you. I love you. Okay, so I just wanted to make sure that we talk about prison reform. We have to do something about prison reform. We have, like he said, we only got, our black men are only 4%. You know what I'm saying? Not
You
only.
got to change your mind, Georgia.
What?
Don't say prison reform. Okay. What are we going to do about slavery?
Okay.
Slavery, not prison reform.
Okay.
You got to make it illegal in your mind first by changing your mind.
That's right. Okay. You are absolutely right. Slavery. That's why you my friend. And I ain't gonna never say it again. Slavery. Because that's what it is. Okay. Now up next, so my sister got to get up out of here because she is doing everything. I call her Miss Dia Do It All because she does it all. And one of the things that she does, she's a radio personality at an independent radio station here in Atlanta, WRFG. She's a curator for many events and she does so many things. And what she's going to talk about is just being an independent, working at an independent radio station that isn't bought by the record companies or outside entities, that has integrity and heart, and that it is a source where we can get information that we can trust. Because the thing about right now, especially right now, not just right now, all the time, but especially right now, we don't have anybody we can trust. We know people, individual people who can tell us things, but there isn't a global or national or community voice that we can look to and say, oh, they telling us the truth. Even with the news, it's just sensationalized and titillating to get you scared more than anything. So I want to talk to Dia about the role of the media, especially in responsibility to the community. Hey, Dia.
Hey, Georgia. Thank you so much for having me. Oh man, our brother Max, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I wasn't even really ready to talk after him because he didn't have me so like ready to fuck them. Oh, excuse my language. But yeah, you know what? Media is interesting because when I was in college, I did a dual degree in African studies and organizational communications. And I started doing my radio show my freshman year. You know, and first it was just for fun and all that stuff. But once I started really paying attention to what media was and what music was to our people, it was like, oh, this not, you know, this ain't nothing to play with. Like this just not something to take lightly. So you know, I'm grateful for I'm grateful for that, whether you call it aha moment or whatever it may be. Because you know, media really is, Malcolm X said it, I totally agree when he said it, media the most powerful entity, you know, on the earth. Like they had a power to make the innocent guilty or make the guilty innocent. And it's real, you know what I'm saying? Because so many people, especially our people, you know, one, we trust anything white. Well, let me be clear. Not all of us, but too many of us trust anything white folks tell us, and then we trust way too much of what we see because we saw it on TV. Or, you know, the music that we hear, we think it's okay because if the radio is playing it, then it must be okay. You know what I'm saying? So right now, I think that it's so important that we seek out, you know, independent media outlets. We seek out, you know, wherever they may be, because a lot of the times the people that we need to hear from, we're not going to see them on these major, you know, stations. So if you have to seek out, you know, independent stations, TV stations, radio stations, to find your information and to try to find people that you know you can trust a little bit, then you know that's necessary for us to do. For those here in Atlanta, you know, our WRG, we aren't perfect, but I thank God for that station. When I first moved down here, like I was, you know, early 20s, just out of college. I didn't know who a Mamiya was. You know, I didn't know. And to hear his radio show on the station on FM in a city like Atlanta, it was like, damn, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is real. So to know that, you know, there are still stations, you know, whether it's Amy Goodman, you know, we broadcast her, but if you're anywhere in the US and you're able to tune in to her, I love Amy. She's a good white sister. We appreciate her. Um, you know, another thing which is very important to me and has always pretty much been important since I've moved down here to Atlanta, especially. Well, actually, I'll say again, you know, back in college, it was probably about my junior year that I, you know, then realized that, you know, the music was very important. You know what I'm saying? The music was vital to us because as Nubian people, thank you, Georgia, for correcting me on that. But you know, as Nubian people, like our music means everything. You know, they say we the CNN and we the, you know, it's everything for us. So so tuning in and tuning in to music that we can trust and artists that we know we can trust the messages and stuff that they're sending. What I really think is critical for us to do is to stop supporting these radio stations, especially that have shown us throughout our entire lives that they really kind of don't care about us. You know, they don't care about us. They don't care about our children. Like, you know, no one's telling people that, hey, you can't go make whatever type of music you want and send whatever type of message you want. But I do care about what songs y'all push as singles. I do care that at 10 o'clock in the morning, you telling our children right before, or, you know, 8 or 7 o'clock in the morning before they go to school, you putting on their brain that I want to F every girl in the world, or I want, you know what I'm saying? So it's very important that we hold our radio stations and all of these beautiful black people that work at these stations, because a lot of times they try to push the responsibility on to somebody else, like, oh, you know, it's not left up to us. Like, no, but y'all could say something, y'all could say more. So you know, I think we need to start, whether it's sending them letters, whether it's showing up down there. If y'all familiar with Bob Law, he had a nice movement going that was, you know, letting the radio stations know that we're not for it anymore, and not just letting the radio stations know it, but all of the major companies and stuff that sponsor these shows that's telling us all type of crazy stuff, letting them know also that we're not for it anymore. So, you know, as a community, it's very important that we let these media outlets know that we demand more and we expect more. And if you're not willing to give us more, then we're going to turn you off. And we're going to not just turn you off the same way we be running our mouths, talking junk about unnecessary stuff. We need to be talking to each other about that. Like, hey, it's not cool that the only time they try to give us some type of information that means something is when we're in a pandemic. Why not help us before that? Why not help us lead up to that, so that when something like this happens, we're already prepared, you know? But that's not the goal. That's not the purpose of them. Like, their whole job is to keep us wilding, keep us partying, keep us, you know, acting a little foolish and stuff. And I think that we need to expect more. We need to demand more. That's really just, you know, kind of.
When you said Bob, you was talking about Bob of the Juneteenth Festival?
Bob Law. So he had, yep, he had, I forgot the movement, but it was similar to what Minister Service started some years ago with Bring Back the Balance. And that was all about demanding that radio stations bring back a balance, because nobody's saying that we don't want to party. We do. We want to party, but at the same time, we don't only want to party. You know what I'm saying? Like, we need our media to be there to help us throughout the year, plain and simple, you know, throughout our lives, like not just when 9/11 happened, or not just when Hurricane Katrina happened, or COVID-19 happened. Y'all do something like, oh, we're gonna have a town hall meeting. I don't give a damn about your town hall meeting when all year long you play music telling little boys, black boys, to go do something that's gonna land them in jail. You know what I'm saying? Or you telling little black girls, y'all don't mean shit, but excuse my language, but y'all don't mean anything besides, you know what I'm saying, what you can do for a man. You know what I'm saying? Like how low you can drop it and all that stuff. So I'm just not impressed. And I do think that as a people, we have to demand more from them.
I agree. I agree. I'm like, bring back the balance, because I am a one who pops my ass, and
Oh, I'll pop it all day.
I kill 17 niggas before I eat breakfast. You know what I'm saying? I wish a motherfucker would. That is very much who I am. But I am a lover of my people, and I don't want any harm to be caused to them. Like when I hear gangster rappers or rappers who talk about that, that's no different to me than Scarface or Godfather and all of that. But the difference is they present it to our people like it's the only
reality.
option, a major option. You only got two paths: square or kingpin. And I always tell people, Black people are a myriad of things. We are more than Cash Money and Cosby.
Come on.
We are everything in between. And we need to be presented like that. I mean, I'm an esoteric bitch myself, but I'm good as fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like all day, unapologetically. You know, people put up acts for everybody else, and I want Black people to be free. But that begins with you first, not being defined by what media says, what a radio says, and we need that to be implemented more. I remember Ryan Cameron. Shout out to Ryan Cameron.
Yes.
Well, brother, I remember every time there was an issue in the city, the person who would move us through it was Ryan Cameron. There was integrity. It wasn't about how anybody looked. It was about what needed to be done for the people at the time. Period. Anytime any type of injustice occurred. And I believe that's the responsibility of the media, and especially Black media professionals. You are not just a personality. You are someone we trust and look to. You become a part of our family. So, you know, anybody got anything to say about that, what Ms. Deal just spoke on?
Yes. I would leave it to Talam AC to say in his poem, Market for Niggas. If you get an opportunity, look that up on YouTube. It really breaks down the whole scenario what she was just talking about. She's right. And we are fighting against circumstances where the media is saying to our children what they won't say to their own children.
And you know what's so troubling? I've said in numerous, I promise you, every time I've been at an event, or you know what I'm saying, something where we have the panel discussions and you have different radio heads and stuff there, every single time somebody has said, oh, I don't even let my children listen to the station I work at. So you don't let your children listen to it, but you program it. And these are, you know what I'm saying, the radio programmers, the music directors and stuff, but you program it for our children to listen to. You know, shout out to Tommy Bottoms. He mentioned, you know, something similar when it comes to what we eating and stuff. But I'm telling you, I have not been to one yet where it's kind of like, it's almost like that's the rule. Like, hey, work here, but don't let your children listen to it. So if that's the case, why in the hell would you let mine? Why would you program it for mine to listen to? You know what I'm saying? So we gotta, like, with them, I'm not impressed. I'm not none of that. I don't congratulate you for, oh, you doing great as far as moving up in the field of media and all that stuff, and radio and everything, if you're not doing something for your people. I don't care about that, because if you're not doing something for your people, you're doing something against them.
Come on, you better talk. Okay, I mean, okay. But look, I appreciate Dia for talking my Dia. I know you got to go because you do 1,000 things. Dia, do it all. But I appreciate you so much for having integrity, and that's what we hope to do: inspire others in whatever path or career they have to have some integrity and do it for the betterment of all mankind. Because real talk, if niggas get better, everybody get better. That's just real. Excuse me, Talam, I know you hate that word. If Black people, if Nubians, that's what I say for everybody. If Nubians, because if we got it, then everybody come up, because we are the soul of the world. We soul people. And so when we come up, the whole world comes up. Oh, Cocktails, we thank you for coming too. You have a good night, brother. So Dia, tell people how they can get in touch with you.
I am on Instagram at Pretty Dope Dia, and that's Pretty Dope Dia, DIA, like do it all. So I am there. Our show airs on 89.3 every Wednesday night, going into Thursday morning. It is called The Show, ATL Radio. It's the original show, not that other one that just came along the scene. But it's called The Show. ATL Radio. So, you know, thank y'all. I love all of y'all. And I'm gonna try to keep the computer going and stuff. We just got to do some renovating real quick. But thank y'all so much. George, I love you. And you know, just love y'all dearly.
I love you too. Thank you, dear.
Thanks, peace.
All right, we net my co-host done stepped in the building. Won't you speak to the people, Kalanji?
What up, man? How y'all doing?
We good.
It's kind of got a little echo here. You gonna put me on after the dynamite Miss Dia, you know what I mean? One of the dopest radio hosts on the planet, amongst other things. I'm happy to be here. Word. I missed half this shit, but you know, I'm here now. You know, so what's happening?
I got you. I would love since Talam was referenced. He's in the building. He's still on the screen. Talam, you can do whatever you want to do, but since it was mentioned, if you know, I know you know some people get tired of their work. I don't know if you want to do that poem or you want to do another poem, but it's whatever you want to do, brother. Yeah. Talam. You gotta unmute. Hold on. There you go.
You can hear
Yes,
me?
we can hear you.
You want me to do something now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I know I know that Max mentioned market, so I'll try that one. I ain't done market in a couple of years, Max. But let's see where it's at. Y'all should buy my CD because I used to sell crack. Y'all should buy my CD because I got shot 3 times at a 3 to 9 and all that. See, there's a market for niggas. There's a market for niggas that target figures that purchase $100,000 jewelry. And $200,000 automobiles don't fool me. I know pain when I see it. And he'd rather give it all away. Instead, he signed his life away just to realize that $1 million was a small price for him to pay for his dignity. And I suppose if I earned $100,000 a show that had already been spent on security, entourage, groupies, and below, it wouldn't be so sweet. And I hope Dead President Talib Kweli realized that it's not that Black people don't like positivity, it's simply that we often don't have enough disposable income to purchase tons of CDs, but little rich white kids buy CDs 10 at a time. And the more ignorant the nigga, the more they get to piss off their mom. So if the song calls his mother or sister a bitch or says he's willing to kill his brother in order to get rich, this makes it even better. The bigger the money, the bigger the monkey. Just throw cash at her, watch her take off her dress, just throw cash at him, watch him expose his chest. Somewhere, y'all, right now, there's a rapper sniffing blow in order to take his mind off how he earns his living. Right now, y'all, somewhere there's a stripper, there's a prostitute sniffing blow in order to take her mind off how she earns her living, but there's a market for niggas. And spoken words is the shit, but poems don't buy big homes and poems don't light up wrists. And it might be nice to make all y'all jealous of my bank account, but what's more important is that my mother's respect is priceless. And it used to be back in the days, you cover your face with blackface and red lipstick and Black people would hate you, but you would surely get rich. Just take a picture, poking out your lips, eating watermelon, but guarantee your show is selling. But nowadays, if you're effectively rapping about gun clapping, other Black men say no more, nigga. You platinum. With half a dozen racist billionaires willing to back him. Y'all tell me how that's any different than back then. The more he shows his drawers, the more he gets applause and is willing to play the role of society's savage, and society will make him a star because there's a market for niggas. Just write some bullshit. There's money to be made in convincing Black people that Jill Scott does not exist. Because if a young girl knows she's gold and she won't allow herself to be called no bitch, and it's only common sense that if you take away her self-confidence, she'll believe that dropping it like it's hot for a soldier on the jail, they'll promote it. I guarantee everybody in Georgia's feed right now, $1,000, your record is sell as long as it sounds like Willie Lynch wrote it. Just focus on being a stereotype, like you wake up every morning just dying to fight, just snapping pictures of stacking riches and clapping triggers and smacking bitches. You want to get this started? Fuck your pride, nigga. Just act retarded. You think I'm playing? As long as white folk got money, there's a market for niggas. Peace.
Yes, we is all clapping, bro. Like that's
that
awesome.
hot shit.
You know, that's the classic. That's been on all kinds of documentaries. It's one of the most probably imitated, emulated pieces in our spoken word, modern day spoken word. And it's the truth. Like this is my theory. This is my theory. This is my theory. We had all of the African Bombada, Public Enemy, Pro Righteous Teachers, Jungle Brothers, everybody coming with the knowledge. Everybody got on college shit, Timberlands, African dashikis. And then they was like, yeah. But these other niggas is what really is a nigga. And that was NWA. And it's like they got NWA, they magnified them, and then they went looking for other NWAs all across the country, world even, you know what I'm saying, to be what we are and not to show the diversity of who we are. And you had sprinklings of uniqueness here and there with the Outcasts and the Dungeon Family, and you know, now they have Kendrick and Cole, but for the most part, the more nigga, less educated, aloof, non-responsible that you could be, they will push you. And even the ones, like I'm gonna say, the ones that are so-called hood, who had great messages, like a Trick Daddy, who is an activist in his own way. They don't promote America. They promote, I'm a thug. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate that, and I understand that. If only we could make the masses understand, or just the majority. Because one thing I do know, Talam, is that it ain't gonna be everybody. I just had to say this to somebody yesterday. You know, when they talk about the 144,000, that ain't a lot of people, but you don't know if that's in God's time. That's 144,000 a second, 144,000 a day, 144,000 a week, or in forever. We do not know. We just know that we need to be the most righteous that we can, period. And there are people who just, you know, don't tap into being their best self, because you got to be accountable to it. Not perfect. And that's the thing. Like, people just get caught up in their flaws and what they haven't done, and not looking at the beauty of who they are. So they become the stereotype. They become what people think of them. They become what the world say about them. And that's how I feel. Like, for me, you know, me and you, we have talked about this and disagreed. You know, a nigga is a beautiful thing to me, you know, but when it's not to its full potential of understanding its greatness, understanding what we've done, the conquering and overcoming of being called that, I don't mind, because some of the greatest people on the planet have been called that. And you aren't going to change my spirit or how I feel about myself by using that word against me. So that's, you know, we've had this discussion, like, and to the point of ad nauseum and anger. But I appreciate. Is there anything else you want to say to the people?
I mean, I know that there's no one word that could make me stop hearing the truth of what any of my brothers or sisters have. There's no word, you know what I mean? And the older I get, you know, the more patient I get with a lot of things. But that word has never necessarily disturbed me. It's just not a word for me, you know, and it's not a word for me to use. Now, I just want to just mention that you remember Will, when Will was alive, you know, who loved me to death, and vice versa. I had to be a nigga like 3 times per sentence. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, just in order to you know what I mean? But I had to, he's saying that, but I'm just moving that word out the way because he's speaking love. So I'm just getting to the love of what he was saying. You know what I mean? So what I'm saying is, you know, there's no one word, you know, there's no term that can stop me from hearing the truth of the love a brother or sister has, period.
Yes. I thank you. And he do like niggas, just to let y'all know. He like the poem, just to let y'all know for y'all say anything. Yeah. And shout out to the wonderful, amazing, rest in peace, Will, the real one, Miami, Florida, Dade County 305, one of the greatest, awesomest human beings on the planet. I thank you, Talam, and we're gonna keep on rolling with the program. Up next, we are Kalonji, we're gonna talk about art and spirit, and how that is not only necessary but a fuel for revolution and a necessity in our world. Like right now, what is getting most of us through is art, music, dance, comedy, and stimulating conversation. That is what movies, art. So talk about that, especially from a FTP point of view.
Yeah, you know, as those of you on deck who are familiar with our work, you know that we definitely use art as a tool. We know that, as Che Guevara said, that you know, the propagandist is as important as the role of the gorilla. You know, the propagandist is just as important as the role of the gorilla, meaning that, you know, the people are always going to gravitate towards the art first. You know what I mean? As the last poet say, people like party and bullshit, whether it's with a message or whether it's, you know, if it's a, you know, one of these new motherfuckers just run around, you know, saying shit that don't make sense. You know what I mean? We know that it's the artist has the paintbrush. They're going to dictate the reality. You know what I mean? And that's why throughout movement, history, and struggle, they utilize certain folks to advance, you know, advance our movement. You know, you had, you know, of course, the Marvin Gayes, and you had the Phalas, and so many other folks who came and dropped it. You know, the Gil Scott Herons and so many others, the Oscar Browns and Oscar Brown Juniors, and all those folks who ripped that shit in half and who gave us the business. You know what I mean? So first off, I like to salute you all because I'm familiar with a lot of your work up here. You know, I know that Georgia's been a part of a lot of our shit over the years, you know, from poets to Poets for Political Prisoners to, you know, Crew Love, just all types of shit. You know, and you gotta excuse me, I know my man Salam, you know, I know you said y'all like the word nigga, and I respect that. But you know, as y'all can tell, I cuss like a motherfucker because that's what I like to do. You know what I mean? You know, I feel like English is a bastardized language, and as often as I get to fuck it up, then I will and get my point across at the same damn time. You know, yeah. So art and spirit it's our life form. You know, I think that people separate, you know, us as a whole. When I talk about the artist, it is to identify the particular worker in our struggle, in our movement, because of the fact that we're all a part of the whole. It's no such thing as, you know, this is the freedom fighter and this is the farmer and this is the author and this is the that. We all have children, we all have responsibilities on this planet. You know what I mean? So it's not the role of what I'm saying or what our organization is saying. It's what are we saying and what are we doing collectively? You know what I mean? So I've been following a lot of you all on the low. I know Max has been dropping it for years. Talam, actually, we did some shit at Penn State, I think, some years ago, back in 2003 or something, 2004 with Chairman Fred Jr. You know what I mean? And some other folks, you know, and so many others on here, Tommy Bottoms and you know, a lot of you know. So I don't know why I feel so fucking nervous because I speak and run my mouth all the damn time, but just I recognize the lane. You understand what I'm saying? I'm a motherfucker that respect people's craft and they work. You know what I mean? So I feel like, you know, we all might build houses and shit, but you motherfuckers are electricians. You know what I mean? I might lay the walls and the concrete. You know what I mean? So I kind of get out the way and let y'all plug in and do what the fuck y'all doing, so we can do it as a whole. But you know, yeah. So you know, it's all spirit. We all one. We all universal. We're African people. You know, we on a mission. You know, we're playing to win. You know, we up against imperialism. We up against tyranny. We up against oppression. So the fact that you all can take your art and your talent and utilize that shit in a way that can impact and change the world, literally. You know what I mean? It can inspire folks who are quote unquote on the front line in a different way. You know what I mean? I appreciate that you are folks who are not pretending to be real, because you get so many motherfuckers nowadays who pretend to be so much and so often that they forget who they really are. So,
come on. Well, you know, when you do so many productions and shows, and like, if you don't, for y'all who don't know, this brother puts together shows of consciousness, really. Like he books Sonny Patterson, he books Wise Intelligence, Speech, you know, people who have definite purpose in their art. And you know, I just think that we have to have more of that, people who want to feed the people in every way. You know what I'm saying? That's why I fuck with you like I do, Shawty. You know what I'm saying? From
Well,
day
I'm glad
one.
you fuck with me because I fuck with you.
You
You know
did.
what I mean? But I want to say something too, not to cut you off, but we won't just fuck with the conscious rappers and the conscious poets. You know what I mean? So we can go Jada, we can go Ace Hood, we can deal with the baby or whoever, as long as we can meet them at a point of unity. My position is this: I'm not here to save the world. That's not. I ain't Jesus. I ain't no prophet. I ain't for profit. I ain't non-profit. I'm here to deliver. You understand what I'm saying? And whatever it takes for me to deliver, I'm gonna utilize whatever tool I can utilize. So if I'm organizing the hood, because a lot of times people get it fucked up. I'm from Bridgeport, Connecticut. I'm from the projects. In the mortal words of the rapper, only been a good nigga for a minute. You know what I'm saying? I'm more Griselda than Chuck D. You understand what I'm saying? And that's just the reality of things. Is that me saying I'm dumbing some shit down? No, it's saying that I can identify with certain types of folks. Growing up where I grew up, growing up in the streets, growing up in the projects, you know, it molded me, it shaped me. That was my community. You know what I mean? That was the most community that I've had. So I utilize whatever and whoever I can to advance. If it's, we worked with everybody from the Beastie Boys to Cypress Hill, literally.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? From feeding the homeless to organizing in the hood, whatever. You know what I mean? So, you know, we meet folks where they at. And, you know, I'm just saying, like, you know, just keep doing what y'all doing, and we're going to keep doing what we're doing, and together, you know, we can make some shit pop.
Well, we appreciate you so much for all the work that you do. And I've been there so many times for so many unbelievable righteous endeavors, from, like you said, you know, I remember the Free Troy Davis rally. You know, I've done a lot, and I always see you doing work. Tell the people about your documentary and where they can reach you at, Kalonji.
No doubt. We have a documentary highlighting our work and a number of other different, you know, brothers and sisters who've been putting in work before us and after us. It's called Organizing is the New Cool. You can go to our website, organizingisthenewcool.com, for that. Our organization is the People's Army. You know, we have about 9 different collectives, 9 different organizations up under it. We have Urban Survival Preparedness Institute, Mama's Army, National Coalition to Combat Police Terrorism, FTP Movement, Seattle Youth Corps, and a number of other different organizations. We have a podcast that's a political podcast, but it's funny as fuck because we talk shit, you know what I mean? And we enjoy ourselves. It's called Renegade Culture, you know? And, you know, we for the people and we about the people. And again, you know, a lot of times these motherfuckers get lofty and they get grandiose and they become supreme potentates and Prince of Pan-Africanisms and all that shit and King Kongs of consciousness, and really they smoke crack. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, whatever floats your fucking boat, let it do that. You know what I mean? But my position is I'm no great grand motherfucker. I'm just, you know, somebody that cares about us, like we all should. I have children, you know what I mean? I have grandchildren. I'm about to be 50 years old. You know what I'm saying? I ain't no new nigga on the block. You know what I mean? So I'm intentional with my shit. And again, I appreciate Tamika Harper. Whenever you got some shit going on, we in it. You know what I mean? Whether it's in the Bluffs, whether it's in Bankhead, whether it's in Buckhead, wherever the fuck, we with you. You know what I mean? And that's the business.
Thank you, Kalonji. I thank you for you always host my State of the Hood, whether you just coming through or passing by. I know you had a lot to do today. I appreciate you being here.
No doubt. And I'm too sober right now, so that's why I'm kind of nervous.
Well, light up then, nigga.
Yeah, I'm sitting here and shit feel like I'm on fucking CNN or something.
Shit. So this is the nigga end. This is
it. Yeah. All right, shit. Now I mean, I'm feeling all stiff and shit, trying to, you know, relax.
It's in. Nigga news now. You know
no
what I'm
doubt.
saying?
Abyss, what up? I see you over there, man. Pass that. You know. Well, but anyway, I'm gonna stay on for a few minutes, man, and you know, I'm at your service when you need me. Appreciate y'all. Love all y'all. Respect y'all work. I see y'all out there. DJ know that. I see you. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm following all y'all. You know what I mean? And I fuck with y'all.
I think, you know, a lot of people come together because of the Tamika Festival.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt.
Come and knowing each other, and then you get in touch with all these amazing beings that are on the planet. That's why I'm so encouraged, because I know it's good, great, awesome people out here. Like, man, I'm sorry.
This motherfuckers that fuck with me because I know you.
Hey, that's what I'm supposed to be a pass. My girl got out of a ticket when she told the police officer she was on the way to Georgia Me. He said, Georgia Me, do passion poetry with Joyce Hotel. Go ahead, go on ahead. See, I'm a plug. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got a ticket when I said I was going to see you. That's a whole nother story. I ain't get out of shit.
He was a cracker. He was a graham cracker then. I don't give a damn. You know what I'm saying? So he ain't in the mix. But
no doubt.
I love you so much, Kalonji.
Love you as well, sis.
Now, this brother coming up to the stage, yes. He hails from LA. I don't know what part of LA he from. Fool, what part?
He's in Watts, and you know, that's very important. Watts, we gotta have that.
I thought so.
Energy.
Food for thoughts. What's happening, man?
Yeah, what's up with you, Kalonji? I see you good, brother. Yeah.
Okay. I'm like, I thought that cat looked familiar. You got all that facial hair all grown and shit. we rocked out in LA. Yes.
Let me tell you, the people I know all know each other. I was with my sister, Suhail Hamad, and she said to me, I met all your husbands. I said, what you mean you met all my husbands? She said, I ran into this group in St. Louis called 144,000. And I said, oh, and one of the brothers' name is Kalonji. I was like, Obalaye, Kofi, Kalonji, Life, Justice. She was like, yeah. I said, yeah, I know them niggas. Because, I mean, I don't care where on the planet, we are some kind of way connected in this so-called conscious community, because I don't fit the stigma or look of what the conscious community is. You feel what I'm saying? Or how I am. And I want to defy that for everyone, because just because you're from the hood don't mean you don't want to fight for your people, that you're not aware of what's going on in the world and you want to make an impact or help in some way. And I thank you, Food, for you and your wife and your ministry. You all are very inspirational and needed in our lives. So I want you to do a piece, and then I want you to tell the people about your platform.
Okay, absolutely. So I would not be long, but I will be strong. I just want to say also, G-Me, Father Amdi is on here. He's the Galaxy phone. So I don't think his name is there. So I just wanted to shout out on one of our grandmaster teachers, you know.
We just putting them in. We putting them in now.
Okay, dope, super dope. All right. These are the signs of the times. Don't matter if you got a dime. The rich and the poor are gonna all stand in the same line. Be reminded that it's only one heart, one mind, one breath, one love. Give me 10 feet, no hug. Handshake and gloves, they mandate. We roll the dice, pray that the poltergeist don't sweep through us twice. Asking all my workers of light, shine your halo, stay low, aim high while vibrating between the two. Burn your oils and sage and show them what your stones do. Honey amber, tiger eye, in that hematite. Channel in to cleanse the earth, we gonna be all right. Pharaoh Sanders and Coltrane, we be the light. Been in the fight for our lives, man, they gotta know it. Check Baraka, the Watch Prophets, the Last Poets, Gil Scott, Kamal, Tupac, Nipsey Hussle, Griots with a message to everyone caught in the struggle. Place your hands together. Give thanks for the Most High. Put up the 4-5, then adjust the bow tie. Nobody no die. Trouble that we been through. I'ma stay namaste meditating like a Hindu. Blessed Haru. Blessed Haru. Meditating through the triple light, child of the universe, brother to the night. It's all right. We gonna make it through this pandemic with one heart, one mind, one world. We're all in it. Stand tall in it. No wiggle in my vertebrae. Eastside Watts, baby. I guess is in my DNA. Check the resume. Internal balance certified, soul work practitioner, light workers, time to shine. Because we come from a small tribe, a purple people who dance barefoot to a bucktooth organ played by a one-eyed piccolo player with 8 fingers and 3 toes, tambourines and sound bowls, echoes sentiments of midwives to lost souls, clothed in hemp leaves and kente cloth-covered pistols that will lie you down to sleep in Watts from an east side back street, shuffling a deck of mystical cards with no jokers and all queens and kings singing swing low. know. Sweet chariot while churning roasted duck stuffed with dressing and lima beans. These purple light workers taught eye lingo through rubbing alcohol sniffs and can read your fortune from great granddad's back whip. My mama say, I got same gift. Can whip air into full course meals, move hills and cliffs with a stare. I said, please, mama, tell me more. She said, if you live long enough, more would tell you. Roll them dice, boy. Don't let them roll you. Young sap from nectar's purple, allow your bloom to feel the illusion of your fear. And purple is way back to your stretch, receiving vitamin D from the sun in the language of spirits. And then you would know why. You come from a small tribe of purple people who dance barefoot to a bucktooth organ played by a one-eyed piccolo player with 8 fingers and 3 toes, tambourines and sound bowls, echoes sentiments of midwives to lost souls. My mama say, stay on the one, my son, and never forget to cha-cha with your soul, light worker. Workers of light, shine your light so we can make it through the night.
Yes, fool. You got to go through being all educated and conscious and hood at the same damn time. That's what I'm talking about. That's what's up. Tell the people about your business and your work, the work that you do.
Absolutely. So I'm actually a soul work practitioner. My wife and I, we have a company called Stillwater's Network. We have another company called Subtleties, where we make a full line of natural hair, skincare products and teas. And we also have an entity called Internal Balance that balance out the scales of both of our entities. You know, my main work is in honoring the elders, the ones that came before me. I feel it's very poet for artists, griots, whatever you do in that art medium, to know that any significant change first happened in the art, then it was reflected in society. So that's what I am. I'm a child of that griot energy. And Father Amdi of the Watch Prophets, he's one of my grandmaster teachers that's on this line. And for those of you who do not know, I must say this, Father Amdi not only is a grandmaster teacher, but he's a father of a culture. So there he is, my Baba Father Amdi. So yes, yes, yes. And then, you know, he baptized Nina Simone. Him and Bob Marley brought the Ethiopian Orthodox Church to here, to Los Angeles. And yeah, he orchestrated one of the first gang truces with the founder of the Crips, Raymond Washington, and then also Tookie Williams. So I'm only saying that because today, lastly, G-Me, I gotta say this, today in Watts is the 28th anniversary of the 1992 peace treaty in Watts. Bloods and Crips came together for the second time in history. The first time was when that man right there brought us together. The last time was when we all came together in Watts, and it's the 28th anniversary of that energy. But yeah, that's my grandmaster teacher. Give thanks.
That I'm glad you gave Father Amdi the best intro that I ever could. Father Amdi, you with us? Unmute him. Do you hear us?
Baba, can you hear us, Baba? Georgia Me, can you still hear me?
I can hear you.
Here, my love, call Father Amdi and just tell him to unmute.
He's on. Do you hear us?
You gotta turn it up.
Turn the volume. He just pick up the phone like, I don't hear these niggas yet. I'm just.
Yeah. So can I just say this, Georgia Me and Amdi, when you ready, can you just start talking? I just briefly want to say that when you're in the presence of Father Amdi, as Georgia Me, know that when I say he's the father of a culture, we have to really know that when you're dealing with anything with Black arts, if you look in the Library of Congress, if you look at the how they depict culture, art, history, tradition for the Black experience in America, you know, you will have your spirituals, you will have jazz, but the Watch Prophets and the last poets, they're their own separate culture. So this is one of the fathers of that culture, and that's where rap and that's where all that come from. And I just had to just give him that because he gave the world so much, y'all.
Yes, he did. And he's always been so amazing to me. And I'm just grateful that he's given me tutelage and advice and, you know, empowered me in so many ways I can't even explain. I'm so grateful.
Press mute, just unmuting, Rodney. All you got to do is unmuting. If you was to go and press unmute, Father MD is up in Humboldt. He got acres up there, so he up there with the tallest trees in the world, y'all. Them trees 2,200 years old, so that's where he at.
That's what's up. That's where he need to be.
Baba,
it still ain't.
Georgia, me, do you want to go to somebody else and I could just call his son right there and tell him how to unmute him?
Okay, no issue. And we'll have him go out before Mr. Brown. So Tommy, do me a favor, you ready? Bam. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Tommy Bottoms. Not only is he a deaf poet, he is a political pundit featured in the Washington Post and many other publications. He has gone viral several times with his work. And he is, you know, like a real nigga favorite. People love Tommy Bottoms, you know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna say this, and people might not know it, but fuck you, Tommy. Go ahead, do your thing.
That's what's up. All right, let's go. You said I'm the Don Juan of Vagabonds, a rock star with a martyr card, blessed with the ability to hobnob the halves. But see, I was raised on.
Tommy, wait. Tommy, wait. Your bandwidth is low. Give us 1 second. You got him? You've been good the whole time. Now, all of a sudden, your bandwidth is low. That ain't them but the devil trying to stop our progression. I rebuke you in the name of Jesus, Tamika, and Michael Jackson. You will not prosper. Okay.
That's Trump. That's Trump.
It might be my phone. It might be my phone. I don't know. Maybe I got it.
Probably is your fault. But go ahead. We straight now. Go ahead, Tommy.
Don Juan of Vagabonds, rock star with a martyr card, blessed with an ability to hobnob with the haves. See, I was raised on ham hocks. So I make sure I use my gift of gab to speak on behalf of the have-nots. Now, some choose to be confused whether or not they have not or have. So allow me to give you a clue. If you've ever complained about the price of a gallon of gas, trust me, you are not one of the haves. So whether you want to acknowledge it or not, America's in the middle of the second civil war, the rich versus the poor. I'm a have-not with a sword. Prepared to put my mind and my rhymes on the front line of this war against the poor. See, when you're a billionaire, they call it a bailout. When you broke, it's a handout because you're WIC EBT. But welfare by another name is still government. Damn, throat dry. Hold on. It's still government cheese. Let me break it down if you please. Now, Uncle Sam got a program called agricultural subsidies. Just a fancy name for a government cheese or welfare for the wealthy. Now, I won't get long with it with a definition. Some will keep it simple, call it price fixing. Now, these agricultural subsidies, why Burger King and Mickey D's can sell you $1 menu double cheese, giving free real feels on Pepsi when they know damn well it ain't healthy. And the FDA, they know the truth. That $1 menu gonna kill you, and they lying to you. They don't tell you the fast food is just slave food. See, ain't no difference between chicken McNuggets and chitlins. It's simply low quality food produced specifically for the poverty stricken, not to mention the middle class just busting their ass looking for something quicker before those to feed their children. And if you take the time to look at the bigger picture, you'll see why the rich are getting richer, the poor are getting sicker. That's why you got 9-year-olds battle obesity, ADD. 30 years later, it's heart disease, diabetes. But what you gonna do when your family 5? 2-parent home, working 9 to 5, just trying to survive. And the wife check don't come to the end of the week. The car need a new start, the kids still gotta eat. But that $1 menu looking good to you because you can feed the whole crew with the 2 for $2. And don't claim to be the smartest guy in the room. But I can tell you this, the CEO of Mickey D's ain't feeding his family no Mickey D's. And yes, indeed, Big Macs made them rich, but they ain't about to eat that shit.
Yeah, Tommy, yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's
Grazie.
I mean, all the vegans love that poem. Everybody who's health conscious and work out. Yes, Tommy, tell them. Well, look, hey, Father MD, look, I'm not saying I don't eat McDonald's, no way. But I eat chitlins twice a year, maybe once a year, twice a year, you know, Christmas, Thanksgiving. Sometimes I don't eat one, the other, I might do it one. But I don't feel no kind of way about it. I just want to let y'all know, y'all gonna quit making me feel some kind of way about my food. Cause I be trying to eat the wheatgrass and all the rest of that shit that you know, y'all niggas, y'all healthy niggas be eating. You know what I'm saying? Pass me the parsley. But but Tommy, tell the folk how they get in contact with you and what you got coming up.
It's interesting trying to watch all these old niggas use this technology, man. It's so hilarious. Anyway, Educated Gangster 101 on Instagram. Also on Facebook, my government name Sean Shoemake. And right now, me and my man Malik Salam, we still banging out this spring and third, which is really gonna be a really, really awesome look. And for those that don't know, it's we are basically doing a discussion about the impact of the Yin Yang Cafe, or also known as the Apache Cafe, a little bit later. But its impact and its contributions to the city of Atlanta, of this the growth of the city to where, you know, where we at today, in its integral part and in the blueprint of what Atlanta is, the new Atlanta into the new Atlanta that we at now. You know what I mean? So we that's where we at with it. It's really dope project. We got a nice little rough draft right now. Awesome look, and really excited about it.
Well, I'm excited about it too. I ain't even gonna say nothing that I ain't been interviewed yet about the interview. And
we gonna talk.
Yeah, nigga, I know we gonna talk. But thank you. And that leads us to our next speaker who, you know, made that transition in her life to not only be healthier, but also help others. This sister has on many occasions brought me some concoction. I don't know what she made, but it sure healed me. And it's all from herbs and what's natural and what's better for you. And yeah, she's a dynamic DJ, but now she's, you know, venturing into herbalism. Is that the term? Into holistic living and medicines and whatever you want to call it. I know that I'm grateful that she has, you know, been of counsel to me. Put your hands together for Derica Troop. Yay, D, know that.
Thank you, Georgia. Yeah, so I made the transition into veganism maybe about 4 or 5 years ago. I made a decision because about 6 or 7 years ago, I was told by my doctor that I had high blood pressure, and the option that I was given was to take high blood pressure medicine, like most of us are given. So I told my doctor I wasn't interested in taking medicine. I wasn't interested in, you know, putting myself in that system and like having to commit to that regimen. And she basically told me the only way that you could forego not taking medicine would be to change your life. She said you have to do a total lifestyle change. So for those of you that know me, I'm a basketball coach, and I've been coaching for about 16 years. And I really love a challenge. So if I have an option, if you give me an option and you say you either do this or do this, and I'm not for medicine, I was all for the option of just making a lifestyle change. So back then, I became fully pescatarian, and I started working out. I lost about 75 pounds. I went back to the doctor maybe 2.5, like 2 weeks later, and I was about 15 pounds down. My blood pressure was down, and she asked me had I been taking the pills, and I told her I hadn't. And she said, what have you been doing? I said, I've been working out. I changed my diet. I changed my sleeping habits. I just changed everything about what I was doing. And she was like, well, I can't tell you to not take the medicine, but what I can tell you is keep doing what you're doing. So I went ahead and kept doing what I was doing. I got comfortable in what we call a junk food vegan lifestyle, which I always tell my friends, it's easy to be vegan. It's not necessarily easy to make the right food choices, but it's easy to be vegan because it's a burger that I can bring you a burger right now, Georgia, that you will love. It's easy to have something that tastes good that's vegan food. But it's not easy to make conscious decisions and to listen to your body and to know that when you wake up and you're feeling sore and tired or your joints are feeling inflamed, it has something to do with what you ate. So moving forward, I started to realize that although I was vegan, I was still making poor decisions and I needed to change that. Went to the doctor and got a very serious health scare on December the 27th. And from that day to this day, I decided to be alkaline vegan. It's the lifestyle that Dr. Sebi prescribes. And it's a super hard lifestyle to transition to, but it makes so much sense. Like we're connected to the creator, and the creator created certain things, and the ideology of alkaline veganism is everything that's created, all the ancient grains, all the ancient greens, all of those things are the only things that we need to like help heal our body. Since then, I probably lost about 50 more pounds. My skin probably looks the best it has looked all my life. But it just started with a conscious decision. I was given an ultimatum of doing it the traditional way and having to deal with compounding issues of taking this pill one day and tomorrow's gonna be diabetes. The next day is gonna be this. And I just had to make a decision. And people ask me all the time, you know, is it easy? And the truth is, it's not easy. But it is about making a conscious decision. And I personally feel like, I don't know, it's about life or death to me. That's kind of where I've tricked my mind, because for me that's where it starts. And once it gets in your mind, like what's your purpose? In my mind is life or death for me. So I want to live, and because I choose to live, I chose this lifestyle. And within this lifestyle, I've kind of found out things about myself. My great grandmother told me right before she passed that her mother used to be a medicine woman. So all my life, I was so interested in what's the alternative to the traditional way. And I didn't know that it was just a part of my DNA. It's just something that was in me. And I'm just really carrying the torch. And since then, you know, I've come up with, like you said, certain concoctions that my friends and family called me for. And I just, you know, I listen to the God in me, and I let it guide me when it's time to create. And I get in there and I come up with some amazing things. And all of the time, I try to make sure that it tastes good because I have a background in the restaurant industry, in the culinary world. So I try to make sure it's palatable. But because that's what we need. We need for it to taste good, for us to digest, for us to receive it. So if that's what we need, that's what I'm gonna do. But overall, it's just about this veganism or any lifestyle change. It's just about finding your why. And I found my why. My why is because I want to live, and I want my nephews to see me live, and I want to be an example. You know, it's one thing to know a lot, but it's another thing to be an example. So if anybody's, you know, thinking about being a vegan or thinking about changing their life for whatever, if you want to cut back on eating chicken or cut back on eating chitlins, it's the only one time a year. Just find your why. You know, if you find your why, then the transition will be a lot easier than you making it a task without some type of goal or some type of understanding. Just sit with yourself and figure out why it is you want to make that change, and then it'll come. It'll come.
So how long was the transition of you becoming a vegan? How long was that process? Was it instant?
Yeah, I have this cold turkey thing. I used to smoke Black and Miles. I used to smoke about a pack a day. And then one day I woke up and said, I don't want to smoke Black and Miles anymore, and I stopped smoking it. But that goes back to me saying about your why. I had a reason why I didn't want to smoke Black and Miles anymore. The reason I went vegan is because of, you know, not wanting to take the high blood pressure medicine and just want to transition my life to the next level. So every time I did something, I had a reason that I did it. So that became enough for me. Like that became all I needed to continue doing.
Okay. Well, anybody got any questions about veganism or any thoughts on it for you people who aren't here practices veganism? Not now, nigga. Not nobody.
Yeah,
Nobody.
well, I definitely want to make contact with you and talk about some things. Well, definitely offline, but you know, as most of my folks know, I'm dealing with prostate cancer right now, and I have some questions for you, you know, in reference to diet and how to, like, for example, I have the hardest time with breakfast. You know, what do I eat like first thing in the morning to have that balanced diet, in reference to, you know, the proper amount of protein in the morning and different things like that, you know, because sometimes I may do my smoothie that and it may, you know, have all of these other things, but it don't really have a lot of protein included with it. So sometimes a little bit after the smoothie, I'll be stupid hungry. So I just want to throw some things at you and throw some ideas back at me. You know, just as far as diet, you know, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, but mainly breakfast. And you know, and I'll tell you about some of the things, you know, just going on with me. But right now, I'm dealing with prostate cancer, and so my whole diet, you know, a lot of my diet has shifted and changed, but I'm trying to get off more of the carbs and you know figure out what's the best route in reference to um replacing that, you know, with the proper foods.
Okay,
You know.
cool. Two things I want to speak to. One, when you said breakfast, breakfast you got to remember is to break. You're breaking the fast. So we were taught breakfast is the most important meal of the day, but we was taught the wrong time to eat it. Our body really doesn't need a lot of heavy food and a lot of protein, and we were taught that we needed in the morning because we're trying to wake up and transition our life into the day. We're really supposed to eat around 11 or noon. And when you do, it's certain things that you should eat, especially given your situation. We'll talk about that. But what I will tell you about the carbs thing is because carbs are really sugar, and sugar is like one of the most addictive drugs in the world. And once you get addicted to sugar and get addicted to carbs, everything that you do, you want to have bread, you want to have everything that you do, you're thinking about carbs. So we'll talk about it in more detail, but just understand if you understand the things that your body is craving, then you'll know how to replace them. It's easy to replace sugar, dates. It's a lot of things that you can replace it with. Agave. So we can talk, but just know, not just you, but everybody out there, just know that when it comes to this diet thing, don't look at it as just know that we only eat what we were taught that we were supposed to eat. We only do what we were taught we're supposed to do. So just know that it's just training. So you just have to retrain yourself. Once you retrain yourself and do different things, it only takes about 21 days, like they said, to develop a habit. So
Wow.
give yourself 21 days.
Okay.
Yeah, give yourself 21 days. You'll be okay. Just change your mind. You'll get there.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I thought y'all heard me. I was saying, well, thank you because also Trav, we praying for you. I was so happy to hear you sounding upbeat and lively the other day when you called me, and I just, I'm grateful to provide a source of information that can aid you in this, this situation, and it is holistic living. I mean, I'm not even being funny. I believe that concoction that she made for me before I went on the road, I don't know what was in that concoction, but it got me well within 2 days. I was on the road and I got sick again and was straight in a day. And then it was right at the beginning of the Rona. I went from Houston to Phoenix to LA. You hear me? And my friend was like, I think you had the Rona. I had got sick at his house. He said he Lysol everything, but I want you to tell the people about your elderberry cereal, your earth candy business, and then we're gonna finish out our last segment.
Okay, cool. I got it right here behind me. Earth Candy Plus. The plus is there because I have a lot of other herbs in it. Burdock root, sarsaparilla, yellow dot. All of the herbs are something that most of them deal with inflammation, which most disease that's in your body is inflammation. Once you get the inflammation out of your body, you get the disease out of your body. So most of the herbs in here deal with inflammation. Elderberry, as you know, helps with the respiratory system. Has organic ginger in here. Uses fresh. I use fresh spring water because, again, going back to the alkaline concept, you want to create a state of homeostasis in your body, and that's basically balance. So you balance your body by utilizing things that come from the earth, even your water, not just tap water. Like, you need your water from the earth. So I have everything in here, all organic, super amazing product. I can't keep it on the shelf. I feel like the Nino Brown of holistic living. And yeah, it's cool. I appreciate you. I appreciate you for the time, Georgia.
No, I appreciate you. I've been drinking my elderberry. Y'all give it up for Derek Troop, aka DJ Know That. And any way that we can help each other, heal each other, you know, we should. It's our nature. It's other nature to keep information and not help your fellow man. We are humanity, Black people. So we got to go to the ways of who we are, which is natural healing and trusting our bodies and learning our bodies, and not just take advice from someone who's practicing medicine. You know what I'm saying? Years ago, I had a fall. I was on Broadway. My show had got shut down early. I was having problems. I went to the doctor. He told me I had high blood pressure. And it gave me these pills. I went and researched the pills, and lo and behold, they was blood pressure pills that I would have to take for the rest of my life. So I made a decision that I wasn't going to do that. I smoked weed and meditated for the next 2 weeks, and I ate better, I guess, but not really. And when I went back, he was like, "See, your pressure's down. You seem to be responding to the medicine." I said, "Sure, drug dealer." He said, "You want some more?" I said, "Sure. I know you get a kickback. Go ahead, give it to me." And the nigga tried to convince me I had asthma. I ain't never had no damn asthma. Just trying to put me on all kind of shit. So I found out I go to the doctor like a car. I go get a diagnostic. And then I find one of my womb women or my warrior soldiers who know about holistic living, and I find a way to treat it or to cure it. And I suggest that for all of us. It's nothing, and you can't go wrong with holistic medicine or aid because it's natural. It's natural. It's not going to fix something else and kill something else. That's what the medicine does. Oh, you're supposed to be working on my pressure, but you're killing my heart. You know what I'm saying? So I thank you, Derek. Tell the people where they can get Earth Candy at and book you as a DJ.
All right. You can get Earth Candy at Earth Candy 360 on Instagram. The site should be up within a week, but Earth Candy 360, check that out. And I'm DJ Know That on everything. DJ KNODAT 305, always here checking in. Thank you, Georgia. Salute.
Thank you, sis. I was like, at first, y'all don't know this. I was gonna be the only woman on the panel because one of the sisters could not do it for her. She got a huge webinar business, and I was like, Know That can talk about the herbs in holistic living and that transition, and Dia can talk about media because I'm one of the fellas. I even got some grays in my beard coming in real nice around here. I can give some of y'all a run. You know what I'm saying? My son's jealous of it. My son's jealous. But I need to use everything. And fool, you and Socks need to send me some stuff for my skin and me some life water and everything that you all just give me a package. I want to bring to the mic right now one of my mentors, someone who I'm so in love with. I thank him for all his contributions to our art, our culture, our community. He is an icon. He is a legend in every form of the word. Put your hands together for Father D. Yay!
Hey now.
You hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you good, Queen. Can you hear me?
I need you to turn your mic up some.
Okay.
Okay, right. You good. Is he good to y'all? Y'all hear him?
I'm getting closer. Can you hear me now?
I sure do, King. I thank you first off for blessing us with your presence, your impact, your heart. I mean, you don't pull no punches. Y'all, let me tell you what Father Umdi told me. He told me, if we were back in Africa, you would be a queen of a tribe. You would get niggas' heads cut off. He said, but the thing about you now, I need you to understand, baby girl, is that you don't just scare white people. You scare black people too. So I just thank you for all your love and encouragement and advice. And I know you said you wanted to do something because you had something on your heart that you just wanted to do. So we ready to hear it, and you can talk about anything you want to let us know about. So you got the floor. Father MD.
Well, I'd rather you have some questions for me, but what I'm been dealing with lately is trying to understand, as all the older people that came on, the brother just said a few minutes ago, trying to deal with this technology. And I think that that's one of the most important things, that if we're going to go into this for our children and grandchildren to be computer literate, they must understand that they are dealing with another mind, just as they are dealing with another human being. It lies, it tells the truth, it's always trying to persuade you to go its way. It has ulterior motives. It's just like you dealing with another human being. It's not just a cell phone. It's something much, much more powerful than that. And I think that that's one thing that all of us must see, that our children understand what this mind or whatever it is doing to them, and that it doesn't know everything. It doesn't always give you the right information. And you have to show these things to your children, because you have to find out what it's doing to you. I didn't notice what it was doing to me till I noticed one day I was talking to one of those AI robots, and on the phone. And so the robot said, "Would you give me your telephone number?" And I said, 707-362-1173. The robot said, "You need to do this slower." Now, here goes me. 70736. Now I'm acting like a robot. I'm responding to the robot. The robot ain't responding to me. I'm the one making the adjustment, like a robot, for a robot to understand. So I think that we really have to think about this. And African American, and especially the next generation, we have to understand what we are dealing with. And I don't think that we really do. Most of us want the next $15,000 phone, if we can get it. And I understand that. This is your age. You were born into this. But you better know what you are dealing with. And as I say, when you pick that phone up, you're dealing with another brain, just similar to yours. In no way as great as yours, but because it's artificial. But you are dealing with that. And I would, I hope that, as I said, I wanted to suggest a book to all of you. I will always want to give something that'll help. And I heard this young man speak. I just got part of his speech the other day. His name was Clyde Ford. And his father, I think that's his name, yes. Yes, Clyde Ford. And he wrote a book called Think Black. And his father was one of the early IBM African Americans working on the development of all of this and the algorithms and all of that. He was early at IBM. And he had, what in essence he was saying, that in the development of all of this, racism and biasness was built in. And we better understand that. It's whatever elements were in the society was built into that too, and it's always wants to be dominant. So I just think read this brother's book. It was very interesting. He talked about his father and how his father was very clever to stay there and help develop it and really take a lot of abuse. So he talked about if you're gonna deal with this computer, you should at least know the history of it, why certain things were developed, why certain things were put into this. So that's really what's kind.
Okay, I'm glad you see. See, you
Yeah,
got.
that's what's kind of been on my mind, Georgia.
I'm glad that I would like for you to perform your piece.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you. Hear me?
I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Maybe it's went down. I don't know.
No, it ain't went down. Do you hear me? Do y'all hear me? Everybody else hear me? Do you
But I
hear me,
can't hear you loud.
We hear you.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead and do your piece. That was one.
All right, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
And I hear you good.
Okay, cool, cool. I love it. I love it. I don't care how old. Father MD, let me tell you something. I'm so-called half your age, right? But I don't mess with this thing. I don't do the computer stuff. But we as Black people, we adjust and we learn. And like you said, we need to know how to do, but we don't have to adjust to the computer. The computer is a tool for us. We shall not succumb to artificial intelligence. Hell no. We already done succumbed to dumb intelligence, i.e. the white man, okay? False intelligence and lies. No, we ain't doing that. I will take a axe and chop up a robot around here. God damn it, I ain't not going. But anyway, I want you to do your piece that was on your heart, and we'll find out how to get in contact with you and all that afterwards. So go ahead.
Well, I'm going to do a piece that I think we all should understand, and I'm going to tell you to Google it, okay? And it's called Google It. Now I don't know why, but Google told me a lie. Google be lying sometimes. Whoever or whatever Google is, be lying sometimes with biased opinion. Google this, Google that. How you know that's a fact? Google don't respect truth or a lie. Google only want to know what you think and why. That's how Google get by. Most think it's a scientific expert on everything. Google can make a fool think they cool as they download Google opinions, creating Google minds, Googling this and Googling that, and Google motives and Google facts. Google be lying sometimes. And people be going go, go, gaga over Google. Google be lying sometimes to downloaded mind, Googling this and Googling that. Is that a fact? Google that. Google not the most high. Sometimes Google tell a lie. Can you Google why? Sometimes Google tell a lie. Google that. That's it.
I'm over here laughing. I was like, yes, can you they shout Father MD. I swear I'm so honored to have you. You've been a part of Big God's night before with us. Let me turn this volume down so we won't have feedback. And I'm just honored to know you, and I'm so grateful for everything that you've done for our community and expanding our minds, opening our minds, always for our people, always for the artistry. I appreciate food and endeavors with our elders. I mean, y'all stay in touch, follow Food for Thought and his endeavors to take care of our elders, which we are supposed to do. Like right now, my mama in my room watching the Freedom Church that we did on Saturday. And she always talking about, You just need to put me in a home. No, you sure ain't going nowhere. You gonna be right here with me until I can't have you here with me no more. And that's how every elder in my house and my family has done. And I'm just grateful that you got sound mind. You hip as hell. You hip as hell, thank God. And you still teaching. And I'm so grateful. You know, I ain't gonna be disrespectful, but you know you my crush. You know what I'm saying? You my crush. Your mind is everything to me, and your courage. And I just thank God for you. And
if I was 50 years younger, you couldn't get away.
You better tell these niggas they slipping. They slipping, Father. Okay, anyway. No. But tell the people how they can get in contact with you.
Pardon?
Tell the people how they can get in contact with you.
I'm the poet 227 at gmail.com.
Thank you, Father Amdi. I love you so much.
I love y'all too.
Up next, we got a motivator, an educator, I don't even know what to say. A navigator, never an instigator, the incomparable Keith Brown.
Good job, good job. Good job, good job. G-O-O-D-J-O-B. Good job, good job. I said G-O-O-D-J-O-B. Good job, good job. What's up, people? What's up, people? What's up, people? Come on, come on, come on. Let's show Georgia some love on tonight. 12th annual Tamika Fest. And I just want to send love to all of my brothers and sisters that are on the call tonight, on the broadcast tonight. And I want to start off by saying it is not our mission to see through each other. It is our mission to see each other through. It is not our mission to see through each other. It is our mission to see each other through. My name is Keith L. Brown, known nationally and internationally as Mr. I'm Possible, because I believe it's not impossible, it's I'm possible. So each and every day you wake up, I want you to go from impossible to I'm possible. And so this is the state of the hood, the state of the hood. So let me talk about the state of the hood a little bit by just giving praise to my Lord and Savior. All right. I want to give praises unto God and my Lord and Savior. And then I want to say my grandmother, when you talk about the elders, my mother is 76 years old, battling Alzheimer's disease. They say she's losing her mind, but she still has her spirit. And so I send a shout out to my beautiful mother. And then my grandmother, because see, when I was younger, Brother Talaim, when I was younger, DJ Knott, Brother Abyss, Tamika Harper. You know how we traveled, Tamika Harper and I traveled the world together, and Brother Abyss on those HBCU tours. And here we are in 2020, where we have to have vision. Stop living under supervision and have a super vision. See, that's the state of the hood. Too often we are living under supervision, and we need to have a super vision. So let me think back to my grandmother. You know, when I was younger and I would get sick, my grandmother used to put an item in my mouth called a thermometer. Stay with me. I said my grandmother used to put an item in my mouth called a thermometer. And the thermometer used to read my temperature. And if I was too hot, then the temperature would rise. As my fever went down, the temperature would cool down some and there would be a balance. But I want y'all to understand, as my temperature rose, the hotter it got, the more my temperature went up. And I want to let you know today, Black people, brothers and sisters, Nubian kings and queens, we must stop being like the thermometer. And what do you mean by that, Mr. Impossible? What I mean is when we don't get our way, we get too hot. Like the thermometer, our temperature goes up when we don't get our way. When people don't agree with our ideology, our temperature goes up. And what happens then, Tamika, Sister Georgia, and me, is sometimes when our temperature goes up and we get hot-headed, our activism becomes cold. Listen to me. Our activism becomes cold, meaning we don't show up and we don't show out and we don't love on our people. We just say we love our people. So tonight, I'm challenging everybody who's viewing this broadcast tonight, stop being like the thermometer. Stop being like the thermometer. When you don't get your way, then your temperature goes up and then you become cold when it comes to love and supporting your people. So what are you saying, Mr. Impossible? Tonight, I'm challenging all of us in the hood, stop being the thermometer and be the thermostat. I said we got to stop being the thermometer and we have to start being the thermostat, because the thermostat sets the temperature. The thermostat controls the temperature. So tonight, my first challenge to my brothers and sisters is we have to stop being like thermometers and we have to start being the thermostat. I want you to know that everybody on the broadcast tonight is a thermostat. There were many things you said that I agreed with, some things I didn't agree with, but guess what? I still love you. You're still my brothers and sisters. That means we are thermostats. And that's the issue that I have in our communities, is that when we don't agree with each other, we become divided. Tonight, I want you to know, united we stick, and divided we're stuck. United we stick, and divided we're stuck. The one area, Georgia, that we did not discuss tonight is what I want to close with on tonight as I travel around the world taking children and young people and families from impossible to impossible. See, DJ Knott, you being the coach, know that, excuse me, DJ, know that. I'm talking about DJ Knott, because you see, guess what that chitlins does, right? DJ, know that. It puts your stomach in a knot. So DJ, know that. Down there in the 305 in Florida Memorial University, one of my schools that I serve. So listen up. What we have to do right now, listen carefully, we got to get back to something we didn't talk about tonight. We have to get back to the schools. We have to go to the schools. We are all artists. We are all spoken word agents. I'm a speaker. I'm a coach. I'm a trainer. I do all of that. But guess what? If we are not impacting the lives of our children and young people in the schools, then we're like thermometers, and it's time to be the thermostat. Why am I so passionate about this? Because I go into schools where many young men of color will learn how to serve a sentence before they learn how to write one. I said I go into schools where many young men of color will learn how to serve a sentence before they learn how to write one. That's troubling to me. And so what I'm challenging everybody on the call to do, everybody who's watching this broadcast tonight, I'm challenging you this. If you, listen to me, can y'all hear me? Can you hear me? Just nod if you can hear me. Okay, I'm gonna challenge you with this. If you can pack the football stadiums on Friday night, if you can pack the basketball gyms on Saturday night, then I challenge you to pack the PTA meetings on Monday and Tuesday night. I challenge you to pack the curriculum night on Thursday night. See, what we got to do is we got to stop being thermometers. We got to start being thermostats. And that starts with going back to the schools. We got to go back to the schools and we got to take care of our children. See, the reality is this. George and me, I got a program right now that says school is out, but learning is in. I do that on Facebook every Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. School is out, but the learning is in. We got to get back to the schools. And you know what I'm teaching them in the schools? I'm teaching my young men. I'm teaching them. And guess what? And my young ladies, heads up, pants up, grades up. Because when you keep your head up, your pants up, and your grades up, you are telling America, I will never be property of the state, but I'm going to own property in the state. And with that ownership of property in the state, I can make a way and have a vehicle to liberate my brothers and sisters. I'm letting young ladies know you are not female dogs, hoes, and tricks. Because a female dog walks on 4 legs, a hoe is a garden utensil, a trick is performed by a magician. We got to elevate the thinking of our young ladies. We got to elevate the thinking of our young men. We got to go back and tell our young ladies, you are more than just lips, hips, and fingertips. We got to go back and tell our young ladies, you are more than just lips, hips, and fingertips. We got to tell our young men that guess what? Even if you don't dribble a ball, even if you don't throw a ball, even if you don't shoot a ball, you can still be empowered. You can still make a difference. And I'm going to say this, and I know I'm going to be stepping on some toes tonight, but you should have worn bigger shoes out there who's listening to the Tamika Festival. Listen very carefully. If you're out there, do me a favor. We have to teach our children this. If it's on your ass, it is not an asset. Okay, did you hear what I just said? Right. If it's on your ass, it is not an asset. In other words, stop spending money we don't have, buying things we don't need to impress people who don't care about us. We must stop spending money we don't have, buying things we don't need to impress people who don't care about us. So yes, I'm an educational and social justice activist, and advocate. Yes, I travel all over the world. And you know what, Tamika, I had an issue. And I love my brothers and sisters from Black Lives Matter. So we were on Radio 1 together, and one of the brothers said, well, Mr. Impossible, why is it that you don't go to a lot of the marches? Why is it that you don't go to a lot of the marches? I've seen you at some of the marches, but you don't go to a lot of the marches. I said, because it's my duty and my calling to help prevent the marches. Why haven't I seen you in the schools? Why haven't I seen you in the parks working with the young men and women? Is it the only time that you show up is when we're marching? Is that the only time we show up when one of our young children have died by the hands of a systematic oppressive system called the police? Is that the only time we show up to march? I need you to march down to those schools. I need you to march in those communities. I need you to uplift these beautiful Black and brown babies that I do each and every day. You know, my wife, who's a principal, let me tell you what my wife tells her team every day. My wife, who's a principal, Tamika, everybody on here, she says, if we can build children, we won't have to repair adults. If we can build children, we won't have to repair adults. So before I leave tonight, listen very carefully. This is the reality of it. I'm talking to the men now. I'm talking to the fathers, because I have a program called Fathers, Fathers, not Farther. Let me say that again. My program is called Fathers, not Farther. I believe this, Georgia Me, my sister, I believe this. Our communities will get better when our men step up. Our communities will get better when our brothers step up. See, what we have to do, we're the only race of people that allow our women to be on the front lines. No disrespect, Dia. No disrespect, DJ Know That. No disrespect, quintessential Queen Tamika. But Black folk, we are the only race of people who allow our women to be on the front lines. I'm calling on men. I'm calling on fathers. I'm calling on men. I'm calling on brothers to stand up and stop allowing our women to be on the forefront. And we get on the forefront tonight. So that's how we're going to improve the state of the hood, when men stand up and be men. That's how we're going to improve the state of the hood, when we visit the schools and we impact the lives of children and young people. That's how we're going to improve the state of the hood, when we love on each other, even if we don't agree with each other. We have to learn to agree to disagree without being disagreeable. And this is the last thing I'm going to say, and I'm gone. This is my friend Chris. Last thing, Tamika, because you gave me the platform, I'm going to use the platform. This is my friend Chris. Now, I want y'all to look at Chris. Chris is smiling. And Chris has a Christmas tree in his hand. That's why we call him a Chris. But he's carrying around the Christmas tree, Tamika, because guess what? He doesn't know where to plant it, because he doesn't understand that he is a gift. So now he got to carry this foolishness around because he doesn't know where he belongs and he's planted. DJ Know That said it earlier. What is your why? See, there are only two great days in your life: when you were born and when you discover why you were born. And when you discover why you were born, that's called your purpose. And you don't have to carry around your gift and not planting it, not knowing where you belong. And then he also has a shovel. Look at the shovel, y'all. And Chris carries around this shovel because guess what? He's constantly digging up stuff from the past. You need to stop hanging around people that keep digging up your past. And guess what? The last thing about it is Chris is always smiling. Chris, how many of y'all know Black folk, they always smiling? And sometimes you don't need to be smiling. Chris is always smiling, and Chris ain't gonna say nothing. He's not gonna say anything. So let me say this tonight as I leave. Black folk, don't be like Chris, because Chris is smiling and there's nothing to be smiling about. Chris never says anything. Do me a favor, stop hanging with people and being around people who try to silence you and take your voice and take your opinion. You need to speak up and you need to speak out. And the last thing is this: Chris was created by man. Chris was created by man. So Chris has no voice. Chris has no opinion. Chris doesn't know his gift because he was created by man. All of us tonight on the broadcast, we were created by God. Food for thought, we were created by God. And so guess what? Being that God created me, I have a mind. I have a mind, I have a spirit, I have a soul, I have a voice, and my voice matters. So as I close tonight, I want all of my beautiful Black people to know this: God created you so you may sit at his table. America often acts like Cain and forces you to be able. Brother system classifies you as insane. System media says you don't use your brain, pretending the dark children are the only ones selling crack cocaine. The dark ones are violent, that's what they say. I guess no one ever heard of Brother Jeff Dahmer or Brother Timothy McVeigh. Now, Sister Susan Smith said a dark one harmed her children and the nation did quiver, but that slick white sister pushed her own children into the river. The dark ones will murder, the dark ones are blind, but the dark ones didn't kill anybody at Paducah, Jonesboro, or Columbine. Now, God is not pleased with this mental disease, for in his image we were all created, and people of all races must be elevated. Land of the free, home of the brave, never again can the dark ones be slaves. We must seek by our actions, we must seek by our talk. Never again to drive Miss Daisy, let the heifer walk. Never again to drive Miss Daisy, let the heifer walk. Keith L. Brown, Mr. I'm Possible. Keith L. Brown _ on Instagram. You can find me at Keith L. Brown _ on Instagram. Keith L. Brown 1911 on Twitter. Keith L. Brown 1911 on Facebook. And my website is keithlbrown.com. Georgia, me, my beautiful sister, I love you. All my brothers and sisters on the call, I love you. And at the end of the day, it's not impossible, it's I'm possible. That's the state of the hood. GOODJOB. Good job, good job. Peace.
Thank you, Keith. Yes, this brother is beyond a motivator. He speaks to your soul. I'm so grateful to, I mean, I don't know when we met, but I know that all these years we keep coming across each other, keep being in each other's lives. And I'm so grateful because you really speak to my soul. He gave all his information. Y'all follow the brother, support all his endeavors. I see Love is in the building. Hey, Love. Hey, that's Food's daughter. See, I ain't just these people. I know these people. You know what I'm saying? I know them and stuff. You know, been in their house and stuff. And the next brother who's gonna close it out for us. Hey, pretty girl. The next person's gonna close it out for us. We've been waiting on him all show, but life happens. He was our officiant at the Freedom Church on Saturday. He is co-founder of the Hip Hop Temple. And just quick story, I ain't gonna say no story, but the brother in my life spoke greatness into me. He always saw me being beyond what other people could think. And I auditioned for a show for him and his crew years ago, Nation Time Syndicate. Shout out to Nation Time. And of course they picked some little light-skinned, broad, you know what I'm saying, to do their thing, but Server was for me. Server was like, I think this girl is it. Y'all are missing it. I don't know where that girl at. She ain't go nowhere. I went to Broadway though.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? I got my own day. I've toured the country and the world. I don't know where Shawty at. Somewhere on her knees.
Exactly. Exactly.
But I want you to pray us out, and I thank you for always being a part of Tamika Festival. You have been a Tamika Festival honoree. You are a Tamika Fest staple, and I thank you for all your support and love. So I give it to you, Minister Server.
Yes. Can you all hear me clearly? Okay, cool. Hey, yo, big up to everybody that was on here. I was dealing with a couple of little family situations going on, but I definitely wanted to get on. Got a chance to hear speakers. I'm familiar with most of the people that were on here. Big up to my brother Max for sure, who started off, on a high bar. When we talk about the state of the hood, there's so many. This conversation could go on and on and on because there's so many different aspects that we could deal with it from. And big up to Tamika for using her platform to really talk about things that we don't talk about enough, man. When you talk about slavery, stop using prison reform and saying slavery. That makes a lot of Black people uncomfortable. If we talking about the hood and keeping it really real, a lot of Black people, they don't want to deal with the real. So, most of them have seen one of the documentaries that Matt talked about, which was the 13th Amendment. And you remember, it was one thing that Max has been doing. Is that better? Okay, cool. So when we talk about the hood, we have to stay consistent, man. And that's one of the things that is a real challenge with
social media, because you got people that they want to, get popular and jump on a fad. And, everybody has to do what they have to do. But there's a level of consistency, integrity, and honor in which we should all go about our work. There's a level of accountability that each of us answer to, from our Creator, to our ancestors, to our elders, to our community. We're all accountable in different ways. So I appreciate everybody that spoke life into the situation that was going on that's right now, the poetry that was given, a big up to the elder that came on and shined some real wisdom about us being addicted to these gadgets, about us really, as he talked about, can't wait to get the new 15 or whatever the case is, and not even thinking about all the ramifications. So, I know we want to close it out, but I definitely wanted to say, the people that are listening, big up to Tamika and them for doing this on YouTube, because everybody's, going about their business, but you can always go back and study. Go back and listen to what these brothers and sisters said. Big up to know that. She gave mad, I was taking notes on the stuff she was talking about, you know what I'm saying? So go back and study, because this is not just an event. This is a process that we're going in. The process is for liberation for us as Black people, freedom, justice, and equality. That's always the goal, and we go about it in different ways in doing it. So when we talk about, bondage and slavery, all of us should be abolitionists. You know what I'm saying? All of us, in our own way, should be picking up that banner, because all of us are enslaved at a certain level. And we've seen that now with this pandemic, with the things that the government are doing. So this Tamika Fest, we talked about the elevation nation. They're big to my brother Keith Brown, who always comes in extras and different. He drops a lot of gems about frivolous right now. And believe me, other people are preparing in the way that they prepare, which is the arms and the earth and things of that nature. But we have okay, I don't know if I can still hear, but I'm gonna keep talking anyway. Am I still on? No, that can you hear me? I'm good. All right, cool. But listen, as we get ready to play out, I know we're in a timing position is most comfortable for you. Whatever position is most comfortable for you to pray, I invite you to get into that position now. I invite you to allow your eyes to gently close so you may communicate with the Creator inside of you. Bismillah, Nithkadash Shema, transmitting live from the planet Earth. I am the celestial being server, your sincere, evolving revelationary, verified eternal reality. In the name of the Most High God, known by many different attributes, and with us that is never a dispute. We know there is one power, one presence, one intelligence that governs the entire universe. It is the spirit of immortality within us, expressing itself through us as us. And Father, Mother God, we thank you for allowing us to be right here, right now, to be a part of this Tamika Festival, for all of the wonderful brothers and sisters that came on to share their knowledge and information. We know that as creatives, we give everything to you, that we allow ourselves to be vessels and allow you to work and express through us. And Tamika Fest is another example of that. Big up to all the people that will listen to this and get knowledge, wisdom, and understanding to move themselves forward to complete their divine mission. Because once we tap into the divine mission that we have as individuals, then that adds to the collective. So we thank you for another opportunity to share our light, to share our thoughts, our words, and our actions with you. We go forward and bless the continuation. We know this is only day 4 of Tamika Fest. We got another 6 days to add this light. So we bless those that are coming before us. We bless those that have been here. We call forward the presence of the ancestors to guide and so may conduct our tongues and our words and our actions in the ways that we may go forward. And in your mighty presence, in your mighty name, we know that we operate as a higher infinite power healing our people. Yes, we are hip hop. In your mighty name, we simply say amen, ashe, word.
Thank you, Minister
Yeah,
Server.
yeah.
I appreciate you so much. This concludes our amazing State of the Hood, and I thank every last person on the call. I appreciate you, Minister Server, for everything you do for us and the community. My co-host Kalanji, Food for Thought, Talam, Tommy Bottoms, Father Amdi, Max Parthis, Miss Dia, and DJ Know That. Did I forget anybody? Because I do smoke. Oh, thank you, Abyss, for holding it down in the trenches and making sure that this thing. Huh?
Yeah, man, yo, make sure people go back and study this. Share with your people on social media. Share it, overflow it, because again, this is information that's for these times that need to get out.
That's what I wanted. I think that's what my whole purpose is. And I'm so grateful that God assembled, you know, not only this team of my super friends, and that's just so dope that it's my friends that have executed this whole thing. Team Tamika, that's DJ Know That, Abyss, Rewop, Teresa the Songbird, Ananda,
yes.
They have done everything to help me make this happen. I thank y'all for being wonderful allies and friends to me. I love y'all so much. What you want to say, Keith?
Tamika, before we go tonight, to all of our listeners, I need you all to understand that although this is a virtual platform, Tamika and her team invested a lot of money into putting this on, even virtually, for you all, these artists and all that you see. So I need you all to go to your Cash App and sow a seed into Tamika Fest. Listen to me. This sister is an advocate. Tamika Fest 12. TAMIKAFEST 12. $TAMIKAFEST 12. I need you to sow a seed. Listen to me. If you got something tonight, I don't need you to SO. I need you to SOW. I need you don't SO. SOW, because this sister and her team have invested a lot in you and the community. So sow a seed on Cash App. Look at the flyers. Once again, $ Tamika Fest 12. Sow a seed for a sister that's planting seeds and not weeds every day of her life.
Thank you, Keith. Because I don't like asking for money, but we sure need it because we are artists. And real talk, we every last person you see on here is an independent artist, independent contractor. So in any way you can support these people's businesses. What's up, love? Any way that you can support.
Can I do a poem real quick?
Oh, you want to do a poem? You can do a poem. Go ahead, love. We gonna close it out. I want y'all to repeat after me. And then we're gonna let Love close it out with her poem and we done for the night. Repeat after me. I'm not gonna let the devil in you stop the God in me. And our last point is our amazing little sister.
The devil in you
is Love. Yeah.
Me.
Come on, Love.
Black history. Black history. Hey, the first on planet descendants right to 11 agriculture job. Question our royalty. Kings like
come on, love.
Destiny and greatness. Pure black power. Black history. Black history. Hey, in 1886. The guitar was created. Rob F. Lemington, he's the one that made it. John Standards put the standard as the creator. In 1891, when he invented the refrigerator. Black history. Black history. Hey.
All right. That's it.
Hey, that was awesome, Love. That was awesome. And that just even confirms more. Our future's in good hands. And we got amazing parents who raise diamonds like this. And we are so grateful. I love all of you so much. Y'all be safe. Let's take care of our immune system. Let's take care of each other. Let's fight for freedom. Let's fight injustice. Let's fight for each other, not against each other. I love y'all so much. Y'all have a blessed night. I'll see y'all the rest of the week. Tamika Fest 12.